knew that you guys didn't really have the same fast food options that we have. So do you
Yeah.
find that people are more healthier in Germany than in the United States because of that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I think the mindset is just different. I mean, I have a lot of friends that are from America, and I have a lot of friends a little bit everywhere in the world. And I traveled since I was 17 around the world. I lived in Mexico, in the United States for a little, in Paris, in Italy, in Switzerland, etc., etc. So, I think in America is not about the eating more the bad food because it's a choice, but because sometimes I have the feeling they don't know exactly what is, how I can say it, they don't have too much knowledge about it, what can actually be called a fast food and what is not. For example, I see in American drinking a lot of soda, for example. You have the zero, I don't know, Coca-Cola Zero or whatever soda with 0% sugar and whatsoever. And so, oh, Mina, but it's healthy. Like, come on, it's just this, but without calorie. But I'm like, yeah, maybe it doesn't have the calorie, but it still has sucralose inside or another kind of chemical that is replaced with sugar. So it's also, I think the knowledge is just different, or maybe, I mean, of course, you have some people that don't, have their knowledge and everything. But I think for people that were never interested into this domain, is kind of like still kind of confusing.
Welcome to Q's Health and Wellness Podcast, your source for living a healthier lifestyle and developing a better mind, body, and soul. Through guidance, tips, and stories of highly successful fitness gurus, athletes, and individuals who are passionate about enhancing all aspects of life, we provide you with the tools to help you take your lifestyle to another level. And now your host, Quinn Mitchell.
Podcast. This is your host, Quinn Mitchell, and today I have Mina. She's a fitness enthusiast, born and raised out of Italy and now living in Germany. How are you doing today?
Hi, thank you for having me today.
No problem. For people not familiar with you, would you mind giving a brief introduction about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Mina. Most of people call me Mimi. I am from Italy. I'm half French as well, and now I'm currently living in Germany. I have my own Instagram about the fitness. Usually, I post my fitness journey. Let's say some exercises or tips. I was always interested to work into the fitness industry. So yeah, that's a little bit me.
That's awesome. So what really made you get started in the fitness industry?
So basically, I started I think it was 10 years ago, something like that.
Wow.
Time flies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think it's always, so it's kind of a progress all the time. You're always discovering new stuff and, getting great. I mean, just knowing new stuff at the time. But I started my fitness journey because I had a back injury when I was younger. I had the scoliosis. Well, it's not really a back injury, just a problem that you have.
Mm-hmm.
And basically after this time, I had to do physiotherapy, which I hated. And one day I just went to the gym, and that's how I discovered, oh, actually the fitness is something fun and something very challenging and inspiring. So I started to see some people, especially men. What my first time when I went to the gym, what I found it very, I don't know, amazing was the fact to see those people like lifting the super heavy weights and stuff. And then you're like, oh, wow, I would like to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time I was wearing a corset for 4 years in my life. I was a teenager. So basically I could not do much except shower and physiotherapy.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it was really it was very hard to do like my daily movement. Let's say even walking would have been a problem and everything. So once I got to the gym and I saw with the time getting better and getting stronger, that's something that just become part of my life. And yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. So what do you think is really like your biggest obstacle that you see working out or just trying to maintain like a balanced life schedule, including your workouts within?
Mm-hmm. I think it's the consistency. That I think is one of the hardest. Hardest is like the most problem that everybody encounter because of course we have a life that is outside the gym, so we have work, we have different things happening in life, unpredictable stuff. So sometimes it's very hard to put it together and still be consistent. It's not just the fitness, but also the healthy eating. Sometimes it's just hard to just be stick with it all the time. So when that happened, I just give myself a little break. I'm trying to not to be so hard with myself, because of course I think it's important to remind yourself you are human, and sometimes if you need a break, that's okay, just take it, and then you come
Mm-hmm.
back on track even stronger and with more motivation. So yeah, I think that's one of the struggle I have,
Mm-hmm.
is the consistency.
Now, so I know you on your Instagram you talk about a lot about nutrition. So I know you're very in tune with that with your body. Could you talk a little bit about that
Mhm.
and how that affects your day-to-day life?
Okay, so I think at the very beginning, let's going back to my first fitness journey, I was not into the dieting and eating healthy and balanced. And I think most of people at the beginning, when they don't know too much the fitness industry, they think that, oh, if you're eating a salad or eating vegetable or 5 fruits per day, you're on diet. And with the time, when you start to do that as a diet, it starts to become like a lifestyle. Like you really feel it in your body. So um right now, for example, like I notice, yeah, sometimes I have some day I want to eat more, sometimes I want to have more cheat meal, although I don't like to call it that way, but because it's true. I mean, sometimes we
Mm-hmm.
need our carbs, we need our good pizza, and it's okay. I mean, we're human. And I think that's the point. Like, when if I start to do that every day now, before I was eating more cookies and stuff like that, now if I do the same, I really feel my body's not feeling it. It's just, your body
Mm-hmm.
just got used to eat healthy and balanced, so it's not anymore a diet, but it becomes really a part of your lifestyle, and you're feeling good too when you're doing that. I think it's just the transition that's the hard part, but once you're in there, then your body gets used to it and it's following you.
I definitely agree with that because I know with myself, just dieting and trying to eat healthy, it's always been a struggle
Yeah.
for me, personally, just being an athlete. But I think it's something that a lot of people should take more interest in, especially when it comes to when it's like the junk food out there. I don't think people really understand how that really affects their body, and the long term effect.
I mean, in between, when I was in the States, because I lived 6 months in the States, that's true, it's kind of hard with the fast food we're having there. Some of them, I was just like, oh boy, like it
Over.
really makes you want to go all the time, like all the time. So I know it can be very, very hard, especially if you're living in the United States.
Hmm.
Which one was my favorite, actually? I think it was Taco Bell. Yeah. Oh, no, no. It was Chipotle. That was my favorite ever. Like, that
so
was the worst.
so is the fast foods are different from here than in Germany?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is.
So
It's. I mean, Europe all over. I mean, Europe, in Italy. If you go to Italy or France, and I mean, all over Europe. Maybe UK, I wouldn't put it into this extent. I think UK and United States kind of similar, but yeah, you don't have too much choice of this fast food thing. You have, but it's not as attractive as the one that you have in the States. Let's put it that way.
yeah, that's interesting because I never really been like overseas, so I never really knew that you guys didn't really have the same fast food options that we have. So do you
Yeah.
find that people are more healthier in Germany than in the United States because of that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I think the mindset is just different. I mean, I have a lot of friends that are from America, and I have a lot of friends a little bit everywhere in the world. And I traveled since I was 17 around the world. I lived in Mexico, in the
Mm,
United States for a little, in Paris, in Italy, in Switzerland, etc., etc. So, I don't. Yeah, I think in America is not about the eating more the bad food because it's a choice, but because sometimes I have the feeling they don't know exactly what is, how I can say it. They don't have too much knowledge about it, what can actually be called a fast food and what is not. For example,
mm,
I see in American drinking a lot of soda, for example. You have the zero, I don't know, Coca-Cola Zero or whatever soda with 0% sugar and
mm,
whatsoever. And so, oh, Mina, but it's healthy. Like, come on, it's just this, but without calorie. But I'm like, yeah, maybe it doesn't have the calorie, but it still has sucralose inside or another kind of chemical that is replaced with sugar. So it's
mm,
also, I think the knowledge is just different, or maybe, I mean, of course, you have some people that don't, have their knowledge and everything. But I think for people that were never interested into this domain, is kind of like still kind of confusing. And
mm.
of course, the marketing of all those being chains, I don't think they make it easier to understand how that actually can impact your body in your daily basis. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Nah, that's definitely interesting because you say you traveled all around the world. So, my question to you is the fitness industry, do you see it more different in other places than let's say in Germany than in Mexico? Is like the people take their health more seriously in other places than they do where you're at currently?
Uh, I think that's a good question too. It's so complex to say it because you don't want to put everybody in the same basket, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Of course. So I wouldn't like to say, yeah, you know, Mexico do better than Germany or
Mm-hmm.
Germany do better than United States. No, especially because I think in the United States, for example, if you go to Florida or maybe, I don't know, in Texas, of course, the people in Florida at the beach, they know maybe they're more into
Yeah.
fitness because they're bikini all the time, you know? So
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of hard to answer this. But I think the knowledge, especially now with Instagram, everybody had it. Like if you're following all these Instagrammers
Mm-hmm.
that are into the fitness industry, you cannot learn your knowledge without really like I don't think it's something to be affected with the culture, I guess.
Got you, got you.
Yeah.
So people are like more aware of fitness, um, workouts and things nowadays because of the more of the social media aspect.
Yeah, I think the social media, I think especially the past few years, it become a big boost all this fitness industry.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays everything actually get promoted by fitness industry. You go to the supermarket, you found this product, yes, protein, that's good, it's healthy, which
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's just like, I don't know about this. Also social media, all this Gymshark and Woman's Best. Now I also saw Woman's Best, I don't know if you know it, is also like a protein supplements for women, also
Mm-hmm.
start to introduce their market in the United States. So I think thanks to social media, um, all those kind of brands and awareness is coming up a little bit worldwide now.
Oh wow,
So
that's awesome. That's very interesting. So is there any tips that you would give women specifically, that just starting to work out? Just because I know a lot of women, when they're looking in the fitness industry, do want to lose weight, and they think, okay, let me go take this diet pill. But they don't, or they go to GNC or one of the vitamin shops, and they get offered all these different supplements to take, really, when that's only hurting their body. So is there anything that you could specifically give advice to women? Just trying to lose weight?
yeah, can I give two tips?
Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, no magic pill, girlfriends. Like there's no point to take magic pill, it's not gonna work. I mean, you're just gonna lose, I mean, you're just gonna waste money for no reason, I think. What I think there are the two important things you need to set is, first of all, try to set some goals that are achievable in a month. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so for example, you know, you want to lose, I don't know, 10 kilo, let's say. It's not gonna happen in 1 month, and even if you do, it's not gonna be healthy. So I don't know, put yourself, okay, I have 5 months, I can lose 2 kilo here, 2 kilo there, and start to integrate the good healthy food habit. And for doing that at the beginning, try to have a look at yourself in the mirror in a way that you exactly write down on paper what is your eating habits, and write it down without cheating, because at the end you're going to cheat to yourself if you just write random stuff. And then after that, try to correct it, try to compare what you can actually balance with. And of course, if you have an help of a nutritionist, even better. Maybe it can orientate you depending also on your body and everything, can give you better tips to achieve your goals. So it's really trying to replace the bad habit you have into good habit, and that will happen step by step. And the second thing is also to start to schedule your gym sessions, because the first time I have the feeling like, and I know this also with my friend that never went to the gym before, oh my god, what should I start? You know, they get there and they're just like, okay, I'm gonna go do some cardio, I'm gonna
Yeah.
do 20 minutes of walking and I'm done today, that's it. No, so you need to really, I mean, that's what I said before. Also, you have people that are competent into gym, hopefully, I guess, and that they can give you some advice to first, you know, uh your how you call it, sorry, my English, like
Look,
your plan, your gym.
your workout regimen.
Yeah, exactly, your workout
Mm-hmm.
resume, and then really try to to follow it. So if you know that you cannot go 5 days a week, the 3 times a week you're going, you know exactly what you're doing. So write it down what you're gonna do. And then once you have that, try to set yourself a goal. Okay, for example, I did 20 minutes cardio. Next goal next week is gonna be increase the intensity or increasing the time, up to you. Or that's the same thing with the weights. Okay, so I started with 2 kg, so now next week I can do more reps, or I can just increase it more. So you always boost yourself to have new goals. And of course, when you give yourself new goals into the workout, then of
Mhm.
course also in your body you will see the result with the time. So yeah.
No, no, that's awesome. I thank you for that. And then another question I want to ask you as well:
Mhm.
how do you personally feel about the waist trainers? I know a lot of women that follow me. They often ask me, "Oh, do waist trainers work?" And I want to ask you specifically because you're a woman and you
Yeah.
have a fit body. So, do you personally think that they work, or have you ever used them yourself?
Yes, I did, but to be honest, I don't think I mean, it's not gonna shape you, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is what you're gonna put in your plate. I really think to have a flat belly is what you put in a plate is 70% and 20% is a workout, literally. And I think the good thing about the waist band thingy
Mm-hmm.
is good if you want, for example, to prevent injury of your back. That's the only reason maybe I would use it. If
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking some heavy weight for doing, I don't know, deadlift or something like this, I'm just gonna use it because somehow it just protect a little bit my back. But I mean, after this, you really don't need it. It's just losing money. So
Nah,
really.
I thank you for that as well. And I see you personally on your Instagram. You do beach workouts. So for somebody that doesn't really have access to a gym, or they don't have, or they're uncomfortable being around people, would you mind just sharing like some workouts that they can do at home, or just say if they go to the beach, or they can do workouts on the beach? Because I know that's just something that you specialize in personally.
Yeah, I mean, I like to do when I have the beach because in Germany we don't have the beach and the weather is terrible here, so I'd
Mm-hmm.
rather go to the gym. But yeah, I mean, especially you can find a lot of like interval training. Depends what is your goal. Is it like you want to build muscle or you want to lose weight? That depends what you're looking for. But you can do some interval training at home easily. I mean, right now like this, I cannot just give it to
Mm-hmm.
you an
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
example because I need to write it
Mm-hmm.
down. But I'm pretty sure on YouTube you can find a lot of them, some interval training that you can do at home. And yeah, that's it. And at the beach, maybe, yeah, swimming also is, actually, we didn't talk about this, but I think swimming is one of the things that if you want to shape your silhouette and lose weight is the best.
Oh
I don't
wow.
like swimming, but it really, really helps because you really, um, somehow it's like it helps to build your core. And
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, because you're in the water, you're stretching all your body, you're going to prevent injury, especially if you're overweight. I really
Mm-hmm.
recommend to do that. And plus it's a cardio. The only bad thing is that when you swim, you're always hungry afterwards. You have to be careful what you're eating afterwards. So no
Yes.
chipotle after swimming in Florida, okay?
Yes. But for you personally, is this something that has worked for you, whether it's like gaining, losing weight, that has like that you implemented in your own life, that you could share with others?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to start the answer by saying that each body is different, and that's very important because I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I can give you the advice of what is good for me, but that doesn't mean necessarily that it's good for the other person. We're
Mm-hmm.
all different individual, and then you have to understand how your body works, and that's very important. And that will happen with the time when you start to listen to yourself. That's when you know what you have to do to go to the right path, right path. But for me, for example, what I do is really I'm not trying to tell myself, okay, I mean, I'm not doing bodybuilding competitions, so I'm not like into the starving mode, which is when you're doing bodybuilding competition, is very like, it's hard, like it's very, very hard. And I have friends that did that. I'm like, hell no, I'm not gonna do this. I just want to be healthy. But no, like, come on, I'm not gonna eat my chicken every day with
Mm-hmm.
100 grams of rice. So I'm trying to eat balance as much as I can. I mean, of course, like cookies or chips or pizza, pasta, something like this, I would try to avoid it. I have it once a week because I like to give myself a pleasure. Or
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, especially in women's time,
Mm-hmm.
when we are more into craving, then I'll treat myself a bit more. But then I will try to be balanced in what I'm eating. So usually my daily routine is like 40 grams of oatmeal with some protein shake, 30 grams, and then one fruit. It can be apple or kiwi. Then I have a snack in, I don't know, around 11, and have a yogurt 0% fat with a little bit of stevia or honey. Then at lunch I eat some, I don't know, 200 grams of protein, can be fish or meat, with a lot of vegetables, and 90 grams of rice. That's what I do. Then I don't know, at lunch, at before my gym session, I have maybe again oatmeal or with banana, or like some rice cake with some peanut butter, and then I take a little bit of carnitine, which is it helps me to burn more later in the gym. And then I take right after my gym protein shake before I get home, and then I eat my dinner, which I try to avoid the carbs when I'm not into the gaining mode and I'm trying to lean. I will reduce my carbs by just eating vegetable and 200 grams of protein.
Oh wow, so you really have like a whole well balanced meal like throughout the day.
Yeah, but it become really a part of me. Like I don't even think it that way. When somebody asks me, then I'm
Hmm.
thinking about it. But it became such a part of me that I don't see that as a struggle. And a lot
Hmm.
of people think it's a struggle, but actually it's not. It's just eating. I know exactly what I'm eating. That's the only. I mean, if I ask to somebody what are you eating in a day, they will think the same way. And you're like, oh wow, you're eating all that. Yeah, I mean, I do, but it's just the
Yeah.
same way. But I exactly know what I'm putting inside my plate.
Now, was that transition hard for you? Like before you were when you were just eating anything, was that transition trying to eat everything in moderation and keep in mind like, okay, when I'm taking it to my body, like this helps me. Was that transition hard for you, or was it just like it was just snap of the finger, you were just able to do
No, everything was perfect. Don't worry. It was.
it?
I mean, you say no to cookies and pizza. I'm like, yeah, no problem. No, it was hard. Like everything, I think it's like kind of a drug. Like your body is used to have a lot of sugar. The sugar is addictive. So of course, when you reduce it, you start the first day to feel like you're kind of tired. You really want it. You have some craving, but they're not. It's all in here. It's not because you're actually hungry. Because even if I'm gonna eat apple and I'm coming after 15 minutes saying I'm still hungry with something sugary, is because your mind, you put it like it was used to have that. So it's like, what the hell are you doing to me? So you have to
Mm,
give it a time, and it's very, very hard, but you just have to really stick on it. And I think after 10 days, the detox comes. So then that's the moment you can start to really feel like it's not going to be so hard anymore, and
mm,
you're going to start to integrate. That's why I said it's very important to not put like this kind of goal, okay, I'm going to stop eating this completely, because those are always a failure at the end. Like after 1 month you're going to
mm.
be, no, I'm not going to do this. So yeah, just reduce things step by step, little by little, and then you're going to get there.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you mentioned too as well before that everybody's body's different. So something that may work for one person might not work for the other person. Because nowadays with social
Exactly.
media, a lot of people are just they see a trend that's going on, or they see a diet that works for somebody else, then they try it, and then they're upset because they're not getting the results that they want.
Yeah, and mind you, I would like to raise that. I mean, not everybody, of course, but a lot of Instagrammers. For example, I went to the fitness last year. I went to the fitness, I don't know how you call it, exhibition called the FIBO, where a lot
Hmm.
of bodybuilders and Instagram influencers in the fitness industry went. And it's so crazy what you can. I mean, it's not for judging the people, but like Photoshop have and lighting have a lot to
A
do.
lot to do with
Sometimes it's like,
it.
stop comparing yourself to those people, because I swear they're at the end of the day for real, like me too. I mean, we're all human. We all
Hmm.
have cellulite. We have a bit of fat. We have some moment that we are like in the top. Sometimes we're just like in the flop because it's winter. So it's
Hmm.
okay, but stop comparing yourself to those people on Instagram all the time, okay? Because also the people all the time on Instagram, without mentioning Photoshop, they schedule when they're gonna post all those pictures.
Yeah,
So they know exactly when, like maybe they had a picture of like this summer and they did all the shooting this
and
summer
they
when
just
they're like
posted it this winter.
exactly. So no, don't compare. It's not okay. And sometimes I compare myself too. Don't get me wrong. That's sometimes you're just
Hmm.
like, how, like how, and then I remind myself like, no, girl, like it's not like that. Just you know.
Nah, but I'm glad that you went and seen the actual people up close and personal, so you have that real life experience that not everybody that they show as on pictures is as they are right now. Like they have blemishes and they have like everybody's just not perfect as they see on Instagram. So
Yeah, and I don't like to call it nobody's perfect, but I think everybody's just beautiful the way they are. So it's not just
mhm,
about like, I'm not perfect because my boobs is smaller than the other one, or my booty is not bigger than the other one. No, it's just the way I am. This is me. This is
mhm,
Mina, and I am like this. I have a different size of you, but that's just how I am. And of course, I can improve and be the best version of myself, but I can never be you because I'm not you. And that's another thing. I think self-love is something that nowadays we're also losing into the Instagram, with all the social media around us, because we're just like always comparing, especially female. Like we always looking at the female, and like instead of like being, yes girl, we have you, it's like, oh my god, she's better than me, I'm gonna put heart, you know.
Yeah.
But then you're like, shit me in your head, you know. So
Yeah. No, I'm glad that you brought that up, because that really affects a lot of women, especially their mindset on how they feel about themselves. Like they're trying to make progress, but then they see somebody on Instagram like, okay, I need to lose 30 more pounds to look like her. When in reality is like your body's not built the same, so you really might
mhm,
never ever look like her. But it's the mind. I feel like it's the mindset that keeps a lot of women, especially from the gym. And when they're down on themselves, and if they don't have somebody like you for yourself to tell them, they don't
mhm.
have a friend like you to tell them, hey, this is not really like this. It's like you just have to work on yourself and be mindful of yourself. I think that plays a lot of part of discouraging women from going to the gym, and like I said, their mindset is all over the place. Like they don't ever want to go.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the confidence, it will come. I mean, I remember my first time. I mean, when I had this back thingy and stuff. For me, when I went to the gym first time, I was like, oh my god, what I'm gonna do here? Like, I don't know anything. And when you knew, everybody kind of,
Yeah.
especially everybody's. I have always the feeling when you knew, people are like staring somehow, or maybe it's in my head. I don't know, but when you knew, and I was like, oh my god, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do and
Hmm.
everything. And then, I mean, I was very lucky that I met this guy that really helped me out to understand how was the fitness journey working. So you just have to get in the
Put
water and
yourself
just
out
go,
there.
girl. Like,
Hmm.
yes, like
It's
everything
definitely.
in life,
Hmm.
everything in life.
That's definitely understandable. And before I let you go, is there any can you tell us just about your routine, like your daily routine that you go through, and if there's any special morning routines that you do?
Yeah. So first of all, I wake up and I have a coffee, because without coffee, I do not function. That's the Italian side of me coming in. So I need my
Mhm.
coffee. Once I have my coffee, so I'm taking some time. I mean, I sometimes take a break, but I take some fat burner in the morning before eating, because I think for me, I mean, it helps. So I'm taking that, which sometimes I take it for 6 months, then I take a break for completely other 6 months. So I'm doing
Mhm.
time to time. So I eat that, and then I have a nice breakfast, because I think breakfast is like the essential. If you skip breakfast, you're gonna be in the, later on when you're not supposed to eat, especially at night. Sometimes we skip all, like the food that we're supposed to eat more during the day, and then in the evening we're hungry. So yeah, I'll try to like have a good, healthy, balanced breakfast, which is
Mhm.
a one protein shake, my oatmeal with some fruit, banana or blueberries, whatever it is, and then I'm off to go to work. Yeah.
Wow. See, I see me a person. I skip breakfast all the time, so that's
That's
something I
not
definitely
good.
have to work on. Something I
Yeah, I think at the
definitely.
beginning when you're not used to have a breakfast, it's kind of hard because you really don't want it. And I
Hmm.
feel that. So maybe I think the best thing and to do is to integrate it. So you don't start with a big meal breakfast, but just have maybe, I don't know, force yourself to have a little apple, and your body will get used to it. Like when you wake up in the morning, you'll be like, oh, now I'm kind of hungry. So,
Yeah.
with the time it's gonna come. But integrate little thing at the beginning, so then your body start to understand when it's
Hmm.
hungry, when it's not.
Yeah. Now, if anybody has any questions for you, or if they want to get in contact with you, would you mind giving them your contact information?
Yeah, sure. So you can find me on Instagram, and it's Mimi dot Gleaming, and you can find me on Instagram, and you can just write me in there, and I'll be more than happy to answer you.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate you taking the time out your day to talk to us, and give us this advice. Like I said, a lot of people they're looking for advice, but they don't know where to find it. So I'm glad you were able to come on the show and give a lot of informative information to our listeners.
Thank you for inviting me. I think that's actually a pretty cool, initiative to do that, because yeah, I think it's very nice to see different people opinions and stuff, and see, the question that everybody asks about the fitness and stuff is so different, and it's so nice to have different kind of opinions. So thank you so much for inviting me for this. It's super cool.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of Q's Health and Wellness Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe or to leave us a review on iTunes or the listening platform of your choice. Also, please check us out at QuinnMitchellII.com, as well as find us on Instagram for more useful content and resources.